Where you going, boy? You can't go nowhere. You can't go nowhere.
Why?
Dr. Life. This is Dr. Sean Dr. J. Dr. Life. This is Sean Dr. J. Damon Dr. Life Jr. And I just went to a behind the scenes tour at Full Sail. Full Sail University. Y'all all know Full Sail is my school. This was my pass for the behind the scenes. And I went. Full Sail has a phenomenal esports and a video gaming degree. And my son here at his school, we were putting his old school that he just graduated from is OAKS. And Osceola Adventist Christian School. And the college that we go to is Oakwood. So from Oaks, we're documenting the path. And his generation is heavy into video games. He's heavy into, where you going?
To sit down.
No, right here, man, right here. Stop. This is about to be interactive. It's not just me talking. Come here. I'm passing the mantle.
Can I go change my shirt?
Yeah, you can. You can. Get comfortable. Don't be too long. So video games. Both of my sons, all of my kids, all four of my kids. But in his school system, they had something called innovation labs that the Florida Adventist, Florida Conference of Seventh-day Adventists manages the schools in that school system. And so they were giving access to the schools under their umbrella of their conference, access to this innovation lab. And so since my son was at one of the schools in their system, and since we were already, since 2009, we have been giving the kids in Paramore neighborhood at the Paramore Kids Zone, a Hollywood Studios for the Paramore Kids Zone kids. And so I thought it would be a perfect relationship now that my son is connected to the original Hollywood Studios for the Paramore Kids Zone. And since he is enrolled in the Florida Adventist Conference of Seventh-day Adventist school system, Oaks is one of their schools. And so since they had an innovation lab, and since they were teaching the other schools, I thought, okay, let's bring the innovation lab to his school, and then let's complete the project that we had with the Hollywood Studios for the Paramore Kids Zone kids, and then incorporate the stuff that my son is learning. He then could share that with the kids in our original studios. And unfortunately, Robert Henley and unfortunately, Pete Carnegie, unfortunately, Miss Cargill. It was sad to learn that Miss Cargill has been connected all this time to, along with her apparently close friend Betty Nugent, who came over from the school that my oldest kids was from at Mount Sinai. Robert Henley and Betty Nugent came to Mount Sinai when I launched the project to give the Paramore Kids Zone. So they attached themselves to our program after receiving the matching grant. They attached ourselves to our program. But now when we're trying to get an innovation lab to the kids, we've reached out to Full Sail University, and we're gonna give a full range of innovation through my youngest son, through his Hollywood Studios Innovation Labs. And so this is the launch of that. And so I went to the behind the scenes tour for the video game degree program at Full Sail, because that is the main degree program that we're going to use to launch the esports. Come on back. So we call our esports. So everything comes out of our One Love IMG Hip Hop Symphony neighborhood games, right? And so the teams, you're funny, bro. What? Yo, you're tripping. Yo, this dude. So the teams in our league, in real time, we take the players and then we incorporate their teams and the players into the game. Using motion capture pictures, using motion capture, and all of these degrees are taught at Full Sail. I'm already harnessing the ESPN Dan Patrick School of Broadcast and our phenomenal coach, Coach Eddie Cole, who passed away in December, unfortunately, of last year. If my wife had objected or said no, it never would have happened. So the endowment fund is in honor of these three queens. And so I was letting individuals on the tour, and I've been letting everybody that I know. In honor of my wife, my mother, and my grandmother. The same blessing that I received when I had no way to be able to pay to come to Full Sail. But it was the place where I was supposed to be, and the place where my mom was dreaming for me to be able to go to be able to finish what we started, and to be able to do everything myself, not have to go anywhere else, not have to outsource. Nothing could stop or derail the alien rock nation movement ever again. Like death of our music producer, the death of our engineer, our producer, put a halt. My mom was bringing us across the country, promoting our album, everything. But the death of our brother Millennium brought everything to a screeching halt. And so me coming down to Full Sail, I was determined to gain every tool and asset that I could to be able to do anything in the industry so that nothing could ever stop me. And despite the individuals who tried to stop me, I still prevailed. No matter what they have done, no matter what they sabotaged, I still, on a worldwide scale, have been able to fulfill the promise that I told my mother and my grandmother. If you make this happen financially, your investment will not come back to you void. I will make it pay off, and give you a return on that investment. And this is really the 50th year anniversary. I went down to Oakwood and celebrated my mom 50th year anniversary of going down to Oakwood and starting this journey. Well, when I gave the endowment fund to Gary Jones directly, I was also acknowledging that at the same period, at the same time, mid-70s, 75, 76, Gary Jones came down here to Florida and started the journey of Full Sail. My mother and Gary Jones simultaneously at the same exact time, with the same exact passion and the same exact vision. One in Alabama, one in Orlando, Florida. 1976, 50-year anniversary. So I go to Huntsville, Alabama, and I give them an endowment fund. And then I come back here to Orlando, Florida, and I reward Gary's hard work and vision, just like I rewarded my mom. And the only thing that I wish is that my mom and my grandmother were still alive to witness the completion of what my wife has supported and what Gary Jones has done since I graduated. And now to be able to bring Oakwood and Full Sail together in the One Love IMG Hip Hop Symphony Neighborhood Games, this is truly would be a dream come true for my mother and grandmother. And so at the end of my behind the scenes tour, Gary Jones comes into the auditorium just like he did in my orientation in my first degree program. And we're in an auditorium similar to the behind the scenes auditorium. And when I came in the first time, he talked about building a network. Building your network long and strong. And it resonated with me because the whole reason why I was coming down here was to put myself in a position and put individuals around me that would allow me to do everything in the industry. That's why I was there. And so when he said that, I'm like, oh my goodness. I knew I was in the right place, but he just confirmed it. My whole goal was to never be in the situation that I was in again when Millennium died and we couldn't do anything. Because we had put all our eggs in the basket of engineering and production and all of that. And so when that was taken away, we had nobody else to go to. I said, I'll never be in this situation again. I'm going to put myself in a position where if I can't do it myself, I have somebody on my team that is the best in the world at doing it. That's why I came to Full Sail. And then Gary Jones stepped up on the stage and said, build that. And he supported every single thing that we did. But on Sunday, he stands up on the stage again. And I hear him tell these students, you guys have come from all over the country because you saw something here in Full Sail that sparked and ignited that sparked a burning desire and a passion. And then you not only saw it, but then you got your family members and loved ones, and you're here to begin the journey to add that skill set and to go into that career and to do that thing that you're passionate about. And the whole speech was about, don't do anything unless you're passionate about it, unless you're in love with it, unless it wakes you up, puts the battery in your back. Don't do anything. He said, don't even come here. He said, if you come here and you don't have that fire, and it's not your passion, your burning desire, then don't come here. I said, oh, wait. Oh, wait. He just gave him a gem. Because if you're passionate about what you do and then you make that investment, you're going to do that thing. You're going to endure whatever you got to endure. You're going to persevere through whatever you got to persevere. That's what happened with me. No matter what they did to try and derail me, because this was my passion. Because this is my purpose. It didn't matter how much money they took. It didn't matter what evil and wickedness they did behind closed doors. Year after year after year after year, I put another building block, another building block, another building block, building God's kingdom. No matter what the weather condition was, no matter what fiery darts of the adversary, I kept building because it was my passion. I said, oh my goodness, Gary, you just gave it to him. I don't even know if they know the magnitude of what he just gave to him. He said, for those of y'all who are passionate and that fueled you to come here, you're in the right place. You're home. And you're my new buddies. I'm like, they don't even know. He's dead serious. He's dead serious. Every last one of you are my new buddies. Yo, Gary Jones, you're out of this world. You're out of this world, my friend. He said, every last one of you are my new buddies. If any of them get the opportunity to encounter that man, they are going to know that he was dead serious. He said, if your passion and drive brought you here, you're home. But if you're not here because of passion, keep searching till you find it. Don't come here. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time. Do what drives you. Do your passion, because you will always be successful in that. Gem of gems. Whether you come to Full Sail or not. But if you come to Full Sail, armed with that gem, and then with the tools and the skills that they give you, and then for those of y'all who are struggling financially, it is my honor to be able to do for other families what my mother and grandmother and wife did for me, because Full Sail transformed my life. And if those three women and my children had not supported me the way that they did, even though I had my passion, I never would have been successful. And the financial part that my grandmother provided was the key. And so because I put myself in a position by developing a skill, computer engineering, writing the code, because together with my main man, Dr. Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher, we wanted to teach in the educational circle that we invested in the principle and the concept of owning everything. No, I don't want to learn how to get in the cryptocurrency market and learn how to trade cryptocurrency. No. We teach just own it, just own everything. No, I'm going to write my own code to my own cryptocurrency coins. Just own it. I'm going to create Onyx Wall Street banks based off of Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 12. I will bless your basket and your store. I will bless you when you go out and when you come in. I will bless your basket and your store means I will bless your harvest is the basket. And then you bring it into the storehouse. That's your bank. Your investment bank for the future. Your family's future heritage of wealth is your storehouse. Every farmer, every harvester, every family had a system of storehouses so that when they brought the crops in, the storehouse was the bank. Because you take the harvest from the storehouse and you take it to market and you sell it, that you cash it in. And the more storehouses you have, the more wealth you have. Because you have a huge harvest to bring in. I will bless your basket, your harvest. Your banks, your family investment banks, Onyx Wall Street banks. I'm not going to settle for doing like everybody else and try and trade cryptocurrency when these other individuals are creating Ethereum, are creating XRP. There's somebody that sat down and wrote the code for XRP. Somebody who sat down and wrote the code for Ethereum. So if there is a being on earth that controls a $2 trillion, that controls a coin in a $2 trillion industry, then I'm going to bring the oldest currency in Earth's history back to the market. The Havala coins. In the Bible, it's called the sanctuary coin, the temple coin. The oldest economy in history is Onyx Wall Street banks. The temple coin. When the master went into the temple and turned over the tables of the money changers, you have made my father's house a den of thieves. Will a man rob God? Yet you have robbed me. Even this whole nation, you are cursed with a curse, for you have robbed me. You can't have a financial economy when you're robbing God. You can't be successful. Your nation. Will a man rob God? Yet you have robbed me, even this whole nation. You are cursed with a curse, for you have robbed me. Your nation can't be successful when you go against the financial covenant of God. This I knew. So in order to take control of the nation, I simply had to take our people back to the financial covenant with God and reinstitute the sanctuary temple coin, the tent of meeting, the Holy Spirit, temple coin. The tent of meeting, the Holy Spirit temple coin, sanctuary coin. Oldest economy in the world. And since we're in the age of technology, I just had to sit down and write the code, which I did, to bring it to life in this age, which I did. So it was my honor to go to the institution that my grandmother and my mother loved, and my wife and my children have been trained in. It was an honor to give these educational institutions, Mount Sinai Elementary in Trenton, New Jersey, Mount Sinai Junior Academy in Orlando, Florida, Pine Forge Academy Endowment Fund, Oakwood University Endowment Fund, Full Sail University Endowment Fund. And because of my children was at Mount Sinai, Orlando, Mama Patricia Pates was working at UCF for over 25 years, writing grants and funding the expansion of the UCF degree programs, campus, anything. And she also invested in that studio for the kids, told me where to go get the funds to be able to give that studio to the Paramore Kids Zone. Then sat me down and gave me the skills and the tools to write the grant, to get the money. That's how I got the first faith-based matching grant with the city of Orlando. Mayor Buddy Dyer's faith-based matching grant. Miss Patricia Pates from UCF. So it was my honor to say thank you, to give an endowment fund to UCF for what Mom Pates gave to me. And it's an honor for me to do the same thing to USF for what Chucky Atkins invested in my family, coaching my daughter, training my daughter. It's my honor to the same exact $258 billion endowment fund that we gave to UCF in Patricia Pates' honor, to give that same amount to USF in Chucky Atkins' honor, and to give that same amount to Rollins College in Coach Eddie Cole's name and honor, and to give that same amount to the One Love IMG Hip Hop Symphony Neighborhood Games, to resurrect the Florida Christian Athletic Conference 2.0 and the Orlando Junior Magic League. That while Chucky Atkins was coaching my daughter, I put my son and my daughter in both of those leagues. And Coach Eddie Cole was very familiar with the Junior Orlando Magic League. And he was excited about us resurrecting a similar version of it in the One Love IMG Hip Hop Symphony Neighborhood Games. And so we put $258 billion endowment fund within One Love IMG Hip Hop Symphony Neighborhood Games to make sure all of those that need to have tuition paid, to be able to be eligible to play, you have to go through our dropout prevention gold mine educational system. You have to. We've created a foolproof system to prevent individuals from dropping out and then becoming statistics and then to go through our dropout prevention gold mine educational system. You have to. We've created a foolproof system to prevent individuals from dropping out and then becoming statistics and then committing crimes in our neighborhoods. So if you're going to play, you have to be a part of our educational system and our educational pipeline and learn the principles that you need to make sure that you never ever become any of statistics. But it costs to educate. So we putting our money where our mouth is. And on this 50th anniversary of when Gary Jones began the journey, we wouldn't have a One Love IMG Hip Hop Symphony Neighborhood Games without the work that Gary Jones did in Orlando at Full Sail, and without the work that Beverly Webb did simultaneously at the same time on the campus of Oakwood University, 1976 to 1980. So these next 4 years, are like the 4 years that my mom spent and the 4 years that Gary Jones spent launching Full Sail, and my mom launching One Love IMG Hip Hop Symphony Neighborhood Games. Simultaneously while Bob Marley was here recording his greatest hits in Wilmington, Delaware. 1976, 1977. Greatest hits. Same time period. Gary Jones down here creating Full Sail. Bob Marley recording One Love and all of the hits in the USA. And then my mom creating the symphony. As if Bob Marley is David and my mom is Bathsheba. And so we pulling it all together. Unfortunately, Bob is not here. Unfortunately, my mom is not here. Unfortunately, my grandmother is not here. So we have the heart and soul of what we do is a we fit. We the fittest on earth. We're going to go in the opposite direction. So we no longer continue losing pillars like my mom and my grandma. We got a health movement, a we fit movement that's going to save my life and reverse the chronic illness that took my mom early. I got the same exact illness. High blood pressure that wipes out your kidneys. Kidney failure that leads you to dialysis. Dialysis, massive heart attack. My mom had a massive heart attack receiving dialysis treatments on the dialysis machine. The stress from them pulling the blood off, purifying the blood, putting fluid in while they got your blood out, and then removing the fluid and putting the blood. Stress. Heart couldn't take it. And all of those chronic diseases are all curable. But the medical industry will never tell you that and will never try and do that because it puts them out of business. They would rather make profits off of you being ill and allowing you to treat you than cure it to prevent anybody from ever having to suffer that and lose their loved ones. And that's diabolical. Any industry that wants to profit off of pain, suffering, and death is ungodly. So we have a We Fit, We the Fittest movement. It's about curing heart disease, curing diabetes, curing cancer, curing high blood pressure, cure. And now we got the money to put behind it. We got the resources to put to the knowledge that we have to be able to give you cures and not treatment. So, and once again, Full Sail is on the cutting edge of innovation. So we don't need the Robert Henley Innovation Lab. We don't need the Pete Carnegie Advent Health. We don't need your innovation. You're nowhere near what Full Sail is giving us. Nowhere near. Can't even scratch the surface of what Full Sail is pioneering and engineering. And nobody can compete with us on vision, on how to apply that which Full Sail gives us access to in the real world and turn it into careers and enterprises and industry. Nobody can compete with us on that level. That's what Just Own It is about. Vertical integration, just own it. Nobody can compete with us. Nobody. Not Advent Health, not Orlando Health. Nobody. In industry, any industry, anywhere, in entertainment, and media, nobody has the vision that we have. Nobody has the investment track record that we have. Over the extended period that we've invested in saving lives using technology, media, arts, fine arts, performance arts, and media arts. Nobody. So, I've been pumped up since I came off of my behind the scenes tour. As you can see, I'm on fire. We firing on all cylinders with our Well Love IMG Hip Hop Neighborhood Symphony Neighborhood Games. We firing on all cylinders with our Full Sail Labs, fully known sale. You Matter Summer Camp. We firing on all cylinders with our hospital system called Freedom House. I've been pumped up since I came off of my behind the scenes tour. As you can see, I'm on fire. We firing on all cylinders with our Well Love IMG Hip Hop Neighborhood Symphony Neighborhood Games. We firing on all cylinders with our Full Sail Labs, fully known sale. You Matter Summer Camp. We firing on all cylinders with our hospital system called the Freedom House Hospital System, with Adonai Community Mission, with our we have a private investigation arm of Adonai that is an accountability. We heard holding the nursing home industry accountable. We holding the hospital industry accountable. We holding the mental health industry accountable for their treatment of our loved ones. We're not accepting the industry standard. The industry standard is trash. That goes for the psychiatry industry, mental health industry. We're not accepting that low bar. We're raising the bar in all of these industries, putting the standards in these industries out of reach of everybody, so that nobody will ever want to go anywhere else but to our facilities. whether it's hospitals, whether it's nursing facilities, whether it's mental health, whether it's rehabilitation. We're raising the bar so high, like my wife did with me, that there will be no other competition. And the ones in the current industry that are violating and inflicting trauma on it, we shutting them down totally. You will not operate. We're shutting them down totally. New ownership. If we have to take over the facilities and turn them into our facilities, we'll do that. If we need to work with the individuals, if it can be salvaged and saved, then we'll charge them and bill them to get them in compliance. If we believe we can give our stamp of approval to the public, that it's a safe place for them to do business with their loved ones, that they can entrust their loved ones with them, then we will simply take them through compliance. But if our investigations shows that these institutions have crossed the line of no return, we shut them down. And we will implement the just own it and our real estate investment trust invest in categories of real estate to take them over and give the public the services that they deserve. We're not going to ask nobody else to do that. We're not going to trust nobody else to do that. When we see a violation, we handle it. And then we give the people what they deserve. A higher standard than you've ever seen before. So, I just wanted to share that about the behind the scenes and how we're going to use all of these endowment funds and this summer camp that we did and the skill sets that our children develop and take other young people through in our educational system to develop individuals that can create anything in media arts, performance arts, finest arts. So all I've done is mass duplicate myself. I had a desire to come down here and put myself in a position to do anything. Now I have a desire to take as many young people as possible and put them in the same position that my mother, grandmother, and mother, and wife, and my children put me in. Come get it.